Hello there, and welcome back to World of Warship Legends. I am Derka, and today we are finally looking at the Tier 7 Japanese gunboat Akizuki. Before we get any farther, let's look at the commander we have for this game, Takeo Kurita, spec'd for hunting enemy destroyers, which is what this ship specializes at. There's a good alternative in the form of Togo Hihashiro, with a build focused on a little better maneuverability, fire chance, and consumables. Regardless of the commander, we're using Aiming Systems Mod 1, Engine Mod, Concealment, and Gunfire and Control System. Our inspirations on both are Eric Bay and Billy Sims. So let's compare our two commanders. Why would you choose one over the other? Well, Kurita is going to give you more of an advantage with your guns, having faster reload and turret traverse, as well as twist and track to see the closest enemy ship. Togo, on the other hand, can offer you a 2% higher fire chance, better speed and rudder shift, as well as one more consumable if you choose fully packed. This would give you 3 engine boosts, 3 smokes, and 3 torpedo reload boosters, making you pretty versatile and well-rounded. You could argue that using Togo sacrifices your gunfighting ability, which is the main purpose of this ship, but remember that you only have 100mm guns, and the 2% fire chance from Burn It Down XXL is actually quite useful. You have a base fire chance of 5%, so you won't be setting very many fires. Now, if you go with Kurita, you'll have to pick between Unstoppable and Evil Sparks for your legendary perk. Unstoppable helps this ship because it is susceptible to engine damage, so it allows you to repair your engine faster, and you maintain some mobility with a disabled engine. Evil Sparks increases the penetration of your HE shells at the cost of HE shell damage. So your armor penetration increases by 50%, and your shell damage decreases by 55% at level 1. And this is useful because on the Akizuki you have 100mm guns, 8 of them. They're very small caliber and they have trouble penetrating superstructures and armor. A lot of the shells will shatter. Evil Sparks definitely assists in reducing this, but after some testing of my own, I became very frustrated with Evil Sparks because when you're fighting enemy destroyers, you are doing significantly less damage to them with your 55% reduced HE shell damage. So you will find yourself struggling to deal damage to enemy destroyers, and it can turn fights into a long drawn out process. You'll lose a lot of HP. So synopsis, I would probably take Unstoppable on Kurita rather than Evil Sparks, so that if you're in a fight with enemy destroyers, you don't have a disadvantage. So how does she compare to other Tier 7 destroyers? Well, survivability is fantastic. The HP pool is pretty significant and one of the best in class. And like I said earlier, I like to supplement with Billy Sims just to make it that much better. Guns are incredibly fast firing and have good shell velocity, making aiming at distance easier. Torpedoes are 610mm Japanese torpedoes that we all know well. Long range, moderate speed, hard hitting, but you only have one quadruple launcher. The Torp Reload Booster helps assist with this shortcoming. Maneuverability on the ship is quite poor, very low top speed, a large turning circle, and that all adds up to mean that planning ahead and positioning are more important with this ship because it's harder to zip across the map. Concealment, 5.4 kilometers with a level 16 Eric Bay as my inspiration, and that's pretty decent. So gameplay, depending on the commanders that you take, like we just talked about, this is as gunboat can be, and it can be played as a destroyer, hunter, and a cap contester. A Kurita setup with twist and track and unstoppable can be played really aggressively, while using Togo and fully packed, you could play a little farther back using smoke, torpedoes, and your increased fire chance to contest caps and burn people down. Personally, I have more fun when I play Destroyer Hunter, and both can be effective strategies, but really killing enemy destroyers can have a much larger impact on the game and assist your team with winning. And I actually just made a video on this, and I will put a link at the end of this video. So at this point in the game, We have already taken out one of the enemy destroyers. We had a little potato moment there running away from this guy. Maybe I've been watching too many Hivehound videos and I ran right into the island. The Wichita, I don't know if his controller died or something, but I promise I didn't pay that guy to let me kill him. So B and C are firmly in our hands, so we're going to move over here and hunt down the lightning. So again, if you were using evil sparks in this situation, just imagine each one of those little damage numbers popping up, subtract 55% of it, you know? So your engagements with destroyers, that it doesn't matter your armor penetration, it's going to take twice as long to kill them essentially. And, you know, my perk is a level 1 evil sparks. Arita, he's only a legendary 1. So maybe at the higher legendaries, if you're really that committed to it, maybe it's better. But for me, it's just, it's not worth it to use. Maybe it will get a buff in the future, kind of like Equilibrium of Power. We'll have to see. So, we have B and C. We are going to move into A. And since I'm just contesting the cap, we'll go ahead and try to get some fires on the Alabama. And really at this point I probably should switch over to, there it is, armor piercing, because you can get some really good damage salvos farming the superstructures of battleships. You'll have to pay special attention for damage saturation. If the superstructure or parts of the ship are looking really black and kind of darked out, then you might have, you know, they could be damage saturated and you're not going to be able to get any more damage from them, at which point you should switch back over to AP and continue trying to light some fires. This is one of those situations where having Togo would actually be more useful. I've already done my job. I've killed 2 out of 3 of the destroyers. The last one is running for his life over there by B right now, so I'm just stuck basically engaging battleships and protecting this cap. And that is, again, where Togo would excel. The 2% extra fire chance is pretty significant, and I noticed in my gameplay that I would get much more fires when I was playing with Togo. The 5% base here on Kurita just isn't good enough. So you guys will have to kind of weigh that option and decide what you should do and what playstyle better suits you. If you saw earlier, the torpedo launch angles on this ship are pretty bad. Yes, like this. You pretty much have to have your ship turned exactly sideways in order to get the torpedoes off. So that's definitely a detriment. For your setups, there are, you know, other options. You could consider adding inspirations for speed. You could put Vion on for increased fire dispersion. So, I mean, I'm not 100% sold. You know, I don't think that Billy Sims is like set in stone. Should have. There are other options, and you guys kind of let me know how you're setting yours up. I always like to see other people's builds. And the Turpits dying gives us our Kraken Unleashed and wraps this game up. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave some comments below. Let me know what you think of the ship. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll have plenty more videos coming out. Alright, see ya.